Picture this: a friend you completely trusted just disappointed you. Or maybe the person everyone believed in ended up betraying everyone. And yet somehow, the one person you actively avoided became unexpectedly loyal. It really makes you wonder, right? Why are we so incredibly confident we know someone's true character, right up until the exact moment they prove us wrong? Robert Greene believed this single cognitive blind spot has literally changed the course of human history. That's exactly why he made it law, too, in his famous book, The 48 Laws of Power. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. But wait, why on earth would one of history's most famous books on power tell us to trust an enemy more than a friend? Well, let's look at our instincts. Our brains naturally want to divide the world into two very simple, comfortable camps. Friends? We assume they're safe. Enemies? We assume they're dangerous. But psychology tells us these assumptions are, frankly, incredibly flawed. We end up judging people by the labels we slap on them, rather than their actual demonstrated character. Take the propinquity effect, for example. In psychology, this is our tendency to form close relationships and build trust with someone simply because we repeatedly encounter them. I mean, really think about that for a second. Our brains totally fall victim to a familiarity bias. We literally mistake someone's mere physical presence, like a coworker at the next desk or a neighbor you see every morning, for actual good character. We tell ourselves, well, I see you every day, so you must be trustworthy, right? But on the flip side, look at how we view enemies or strangers. According to social exchange theory, our social interactions are basically calculated exchanges. We're all just participants seeking to maximize our own benefits. Because enemies and strangers operate on crystal clear incentives, and because you don't have that warm, fuzzy blanket of friendship blinding you, you're forced to look at what's actually driving them. Paradoxically, this often makes an enemy's behavior way more predictable than a friend's. And this brings us to the illusion of fairness. Recent psychological studies show that power dynamics completely alter how we reciprocate trust. When people, especially people in power, reciprocate your trust, we just assume it's because they're a good person. But cognitive research reveals something a bit darker. Under pressure, or when cognitive control is reduced, people often engage in self-serving reciprocity. Basically, they act fair just to appear fair so they can get what they want. It's not out of true, unwavering loyalty. The crime scene, Byzantium, 867 CE. To see how deadly this psychological blind spot can actually be, let's step out of the modern laboratory and treat history like a true crime documentary. Emperor Michael III befriended this charismatic, illiterate peasant named Basil the Macedonian. Now, Basil was great with horses, he was a fun drinking buddy, so Michael promoted him, and then he promoted him again. In 865 CE, when Basil brutally murdered Michael's own uncle and chief minister, Bardas, how did Michael react? He rewarded him by crowning him co-emperor. Unbelievable, right? Well, just over a year later, Basil repaid that ultimate trust by murdering Michael in his own bedchamber to claim the throne for himself. We have to stop and ask, why did Michael trust Basil so completely? How on earth does an emperor miss such massive, glaring warning signs? It's because Michael completely succumbed to that propinquity effect we talked about. He confused a fun, personal relationship with absolute reliability. He completely ignored Basil's clear incentives and his ruthless actions simply because Basil was wearing the label of friend. The crazy part is, before his murder, that chief minister Bardas actually warned Emperor Michael. He looked at Basil and saw not a friend, but, as he put it, a lion who would devour them all. Bardas was judging Basil by his incentives and his ambition, not his friendly smile. So what changed? Nothing about Basil changed. He was always a ruthless climber. It was Michael's deeply flawed judgment that sealed his own fate. So, looking back at Law 2, we really have to challenge ourselves here. Does this mean friends just can't be trusted at all? No. Does it mean enemies are inherently better or somehow more moral than friends? Absolutely not. The absolutely crucial point here is that Robert Greene wasn't glorifying paranoia, and he definitely wasn't attacking the concept of friendship. He was warning us against flawed judgment. Flawed judgment is assessing someone based on their societal label, friend, family, enemy. Disciplined judgment, on the other hand, is evaluating someone based on their proven integrity, their hidden incentives, and their consistent actions over time. This law is really a plea for us to stop confusing our emotional affection for someone with their actual character. True wisdom isn't quickly categorizing someone as a friend or an enemy. It's about becoming what we call a disciplined observer. It means taking a step back and monitoring someone's changing motivations. It's constantly asking, okay, what does this person actually gain here? It's observing their actions when they think nobody else is looking, and actively working to detach yourself from those emotional labels that completely blind your judgment. To apply this psychological insight properly, you need a fundamental shift in mindset. Look, this is about situational awareness, not cynical manipulation. It's about developing incredibly sharp discernment, not living your life in constant fear of betrayal. Because when you actually understand the psychology of why people act the way they do, you are no longer a passive victim to their changing loyalties. I want to leave you with one final, very powerful realization to take away from our explainer today. The greatest danger in your life isn't having friends, and it certainly isn't having enemies. The absolute greatest danger is believing that those labels tell you everything you need to know about a person's character. Thank you so much for joining this psychological documentary explainer. If this investigation shifted your perspective even a little bit, hit that subscribe button for Beyond the Pages. Give us a like, and please share this explainer with someone in your life who truly values wise judgment. And hey, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know what specific psychological insight changed the way you see people today. We'll see you in the next one.